MiHoYo might never rerun Ganyu. Seriously. At least not any time soon. If they do, Ganyu could be one of the last banners in the version 2 rerun series. I have 3 reasons for this theory. In this video, I dive into what makes Ganyu so unrerunnable that Childe is getting his 3rd rerun, and Hu Tao, who came out after Ganyu, is getting one before her. MiHoYo won't rerun Ganyu. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Zenar. Welcome to my channel. I offer alternative Genshin opinions you won't find anywhere else. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. My first reason is that Ganyu is the secret backup weapon strat MiHoYo has to re-invite all the quitting anniversary players. The final trump card to be played when the situation is dire and the game is really dying, and we need to revitalize the community. You're probably thinking, Zenar, of course they'll rerun her. It's not a doubt. Every character in Genshin is getting a rerun. It's a matter of when. Why? Who told you that? Another YouTuber? Perhaps you have experience with gacha games. Doesn't factor in. Childe is getting his 3rd rerun. Hu Tao is getting a rerun despite coming out after Ganyu. It turns out MiHoYo can do whatever the hell they want. And none of our previous gacha experiences seem to matter much at all. So if you think she's guaranteed a rerun, perhaps we should reevaluate who's really in charge here. MiHoYo, not our previous gacha experience, and they can do whatever they want. But Zenar, Ganyu is super strong and has child-bearing hips. I agree. Her hips are very curvy, quite alluring indeed. You can actually see her panties when she glides because her leggings are see-through. Did you know she choked the monster out because her waistline was too wide and the monster couldn't swallow her? God damn! Sorry, where was I? Oh yeah. She's super strong, and all the meta players or free-to-play players are going to want her to get Primo Gems in the Spiral Abyss. But that's exactly the problem. She's too strong. Which leads me into my 3rd reason. Once you get Ganyu, why would you roll on any other character? Hu Tao is getting a rerun because why would you get Hu Tao if you have Ganyu? I have learned within the last week, players do not care about aesthetics. They don't. At least not as much as I thought they did. We want damage. This is my understanding based on the community's reception to aesthetically pleasing characters like Yoimiya and Kokomi. Let's talk about the reason Ganyu's high damage isn't what makes her broken, and why they can't rerun her because of this reason. First, let's talk about aesthetically pleasing characters, because nobody cares about that anymore. At least not the players with boatloads of money. Yoimiya is literally wearing bandages around her breasts. No bra. And she's packing. And Kokomi is the only 5-star female wearing, what is that, panties? And showing her belly button, but the community doesn't care. At least the vocal community. The silent majority could care, but they're not spending enough money. Rerunning Ganyu isn't a problem because she does a lot of damage. No, that's not why she's strong. There are many characters in the game who can rival Ganyu's damage. Ayaka's ult, Eula ult, Xiao burst, Hu Tao charge attack spam, C2 Raiden burst, etc. These characters rival Ganyu's damage, and some of them deal millions of damage within seconds. But, did you see the problem? Every character I mentioned has to meet a condition in order to deal massive damage. They all have a set amount of time or a criteria to meet, and they deal great damage. Ganyu is the only character in the game who has no condition to meet. She deals ranged, unconditional, nuked charged attacks that are AoE. Ganyu's unconditional nature prevents her from being debuffed in any way. Elemental skill cooldown increased from slowing water, Hu Tao and Childe crippled. Sucking your energy dry from electro debuff, Xiao and Eula weakened. Large groups of mobs, single target Yoimiya struggles. There is no enemy Ganyu cannot kill, and no range she cannot hit them from. Ganyu cannot get a rerun because you will never need another character again except for aesthetic purposes, which nobody cares about. She can't be debuffed. She doesn't need reactions. She doesn't rely on ults. She doesn't need her elemental skill or energy or any team member. Until they decide to power creep her, I don't think they'll rerun her. They need to create a new character that deals unconditional ranged damage permanently, that scales with crit damage, receives elemental damage bonus and crit rate from their ascension stats, release Ganyu, and then release that new character. From a game balance perspective, Ganyu is the worst, most awful designed character in all of Genshin, and they have never released a character like her since her release. And the reason is because how can you balance a player's experience and a game's difficulty when you can't debuff their character? You can inconvenience Ganyu by making enemies block charged attacks, which is the dumbest mechanic Magu Kenki has. Don't get me wrong, I like the mechanic because I hate Ganyu's infallible concept, but think about how the developers gave a boss a mechanic that inconvenienced one character. Why? Why would they even give him that ability? Why would they go out of their way just to inconvenience ranged characters? It's because it's the only way they found they can nerf Ganyu. By making her inconvenient to play. Think about the current Spiral Abyss. The current Floor 12 is full of one-man army enemies who have lots of time wasting and invulnerability phases. What does this mean? Why? Is it because they're lazy and can't come up with better mechanics? Maybe, for sure. But it can also be because we can't nerf Ganyu, but we can make her inconvenient to play. Ganyu doesn't have burst damage. She has high, consistent damage, which seems burst-like because overworld enemies are a joke and have no HP. Against bosses with lots of invulnerability, you want a character who deals all of their damage in a matter of seconds. Hu Tao takes 9, Raiden 7, Yoimiya 10, Ayaka 5. You want to hit hard before the next invulnerability phase. Ganyu's damage is more spaced out. Evidently, she still does enough damage, but it's just way more inconvenient for her than other released DPS characters. As such, they found they could nerf her by making her inconvenient. Every character has weaknesses, she has none. You might like dealing a lot of damage and see this as a good thing, but I don't think it is. Because of Ganyu, every character that has been released since has been judged to a standard that's not even healthy for a character in a game to have. Every character since Ganyu has been considered bad. Characters before Ganyu are considered bad. I think MiHoYo realized, maybe it's actually a bad idea to release a character with no downsides. And for this reason, Hu Tao and Childe, who have weaknesses, and other well-designed and well-balanced characters will get reruns before Ganyu. And believe it or not, I used to like Ganyu. I crowned her normal attack day 1. I mean, look at her hips. Those are child-bearing hips. There is no other female character in the game who has hips like that. And also think about when she was released. Ganyu was the first 5-star limited waifu character. Every single 5-star limited character before Ganyu was a male or Klee. Yeah, think about that. You know me, I'm all about aesthetics. If you nail the character design, I'm in there. I'm in there. And they definitely nailed Ganyu's. Look at her cheeks. I definitely have a love-hate relationship with her. I hate her one day, I love her design the next. Shooting at the ground gets pretty old pretty quickly, though. The first female character they released is still the strongest. It's really a shame that after Ganyu, most characters have been called trash, until people realize how good they are 3 weeks later, like what happens on every banner, because people jump to conclusions, since they don't deal unconditional damage. I think Ganyu's rerun will take a long time to happen. It's better to rerun every other character in the game 3 times before rerunning Ganyu. Either way, I mean no hate to people who play Ganyu. She's hot, her hips are wide, her boobs are modest. I get it. I understand. We are one and the same. I just don't like how unbalanced she is.